So many of the relationships that we know in this world are conditional. The way that we are treated by others is affected by the way that we treat them. It's almost as though we've rewritten the golden rule to say, treat others as they have treated you. But God teaches us a different way. God teaches us about loving others unconditionally. And we learn about that because God has taught us that. In Romans, Paul writes that there is nothing that any of us can do that will separate us from the love of God that we know in Jesus Christ. God will love us when we obey and when we don't, when we follow or when we wander off. God's love is a constant. In the 139th Psalm, the psalmist writes, "O Lord, you have searched me and know me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from far away. You search out my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, O Lord, you know it completely. You hem me in before and behind, and lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is so high that I cannot attain it. For it was you who formed my inward parts, you who knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made." Our mothers remind us that this love does not only exist in heaven or in the heart of God. That love is given to us as a gift by some women that we know very well.
My name is Melanie Haviland, and I have 2 boys. My oldest, Benjamin, will be 5 in July, and my youngest, Joe, is 17 months old. I think that that being a person of faith makes being a mother really important, because I think that one of my main jobs, my most important jobs, is to teach my kids how to have faith and how to be children of God, and teach them that I love them more than words can say, but there's somebody that loves them even more than I love them. And I think that that's big for me to even understand, so let alone teach them. I was thinking about my own mom, and I was thinking, you know, what is my mom? And I was just thinking that she loves me, and it doesn't matter, good days, bad days, successes, failures, it doesn't change. Like, her level of loving me is constant. She's never wavered in that. And I thought about how I love my kids, and that's true for them too. It doesn't matter. I mean, I can get very angry with them, and I can be very happy with them, but my level of love stays constant. And then I realized that that's God, you know, like that is a picture of who God is. It's just a constant love, and it doesn't, you know, we can't buy his love and we can't lose his love. And that's an awesome lesson for me to teach my kids, that he loves them that same way, that there's nothing that they can do to win my approval or to win God's approval, and there's nothing they can do to lose it either. So, you know, that's probably a challenging thing for a kid to understand, because they want to know what they can do to get what they want, or what they can be, you know, how bad can they be before they've pushed it over the line and been really bad. So I think that that's been a nice lesson for me to learn for myself too, that just like there's nothing that my kids can do to lose my love, there's nothing I can do that would be so bad or so an error to lose God's love too. So that's been a blessing. I think that one of my favorite stories that I'll probably never forget is my oldest son, Benjamin, will be 5 in July. And I think that we all as moms, it's really hard to introduce this, I hate to call it concept, but this concept of God. It's a really big thing, and, you know, we don't always understand all that goes into, you know, God, you know, and that whole big concept, and teaching our kids that is really hard. And so what I try to do is just talk to my kids about God, and, you know, he's very much a part of our lives, and throughout the day we'll say, well, we should pray about that, or let's ask God about that, or but you always wonder if it's getting through, you know, are they understanding? And one morning we were eating breakfast, and Ben asked me, "Mom, why does my nose look like this?" He was looking in a little handheld mirror. And I said, "Well, what do you mean, why does your nose look like that?" And he said, "Well, why does it look like this?" And he's making faces, and I said, "Well, looks like it's supposed to look." And then I was like, oh, I could use this as a teaching moment. And rather than say, your nose is exactly like your father's, which it is, I said, you have a beautiful nose, and your nose is exactly how God wanted it to be. When he made you, he said, this is the nose that Benjamin will have. And it's perfect. It's exactly what God wanted, so it's perfect. And we left it at that. We didn't talk about it anymore. And a couple days later, we went to the Children's Museum, and Ben was horrible. It was the worst experience. He was a nightmare. would not listen to me, kept running away from me. I left furious. I was so angry with him, which I hate because it was supposed to be a good thing, and it went awry. As we're walking out, I said, Ben, I've had it with you. You're not listening. I think that there must be something wrong with your ears. I think your ears must be broken. We need to go to the doctor. I'm going to call and make an appointment because they're clearly not working because you're not hearing me and you're not listening. And Ben was quiet for a minute, and we started walking away, and he said, Mom? And I said, yes, Benjamin, let's go. Mom, I just want to say I don't think you should be mad at me because I think that you should be mad at Jesus because he made my ears the way they're supposed to be, and if you think there's something wrong with them, that's his problem. So I was definitely knocked down a peg, and while I was still mad at Benjamin, I was secretly happy because I knew that it had gotten through to him, that he had understood that he was made exactly perfectly the way he was supposed to be made, and yes, I can get frustrated with him, but he's Benjamin. It's what God gave me to work with.